This episode is brought to you by DoorDash. For a limited time, get 50% off your order up to a $20 value and 0 delivery fees when you download the app and use code TheTryPod. It's the holidays. I feel like everything is very electrifying. I mean, quite literally, there are lights everywhere, and that's exciting. But something that Becky and I did recently, we kind of stumbled ourselves into what we, after the fact, called a high school date, in that we spent the day miniature golfing, and then that evening we went bowling and went to an arcade, and it was really awesome. Yeah, it was just a really electrifying experience in our week that, I don't know, left me thinking about it long after it was over. But sometimes you get an electrifying feeling when you drive a Nissan EV like the Ariya and Leaf. Nissan makes EVs that electrify, and they're not just any EVs. Don't get just an EV for the E, right? You get it because it makes you feel electric. The driving experience is different from the rest. You should get an EV because it sparks your imagination like Becky and I's date did. It pins you to your seat, or it takes your breath away. Here's some fun facts. Nissan has been making EVs since 1947. Their EVs have traveled 8 billion miles. That is the equivalent of driving to Pluto and back. 8 billion miles have been driven by Leaf owners globally since 2010. Pretty sick. Nissan, EVs that electrify.
Ramble.
Thank you to Best Fiends, Chime, DoorDash, and Nissan for sponsoring today's episode.
Good morning, audience. It's time for yet another podcast. Are you excited? Well, gosh, so are we. Woo! It's early for us. We were here an hour early than normal.
Can I put Rainie on blast?
Go for it.
Can I start the day?
Is this the Brad Pitt thing?
Yeah, it's
boy.
the Brad Pitt thing. I don't know the context of this conversation, but I walked by yesterday. Did Brad Pitt do something that put him in the news?
No.
Okay, great. So
He just was in a mediocre Netflix film.
I walk by and Rainie goes, has Brad Pitt ever even been in a good movie? Which I think is maybe the single most insane sentence
I will say
anyone's ever said.
I said that, and the reactions from The Office had me backing down immediately. It was the energy was a little bit. It made me fearful.
Maybe
and I was like, never mind. It's
Maybe
fine, it's
you
fine.
weren't trying to like slam him, but rather we're just asking a genuine question.
I was because I've never finished a Brad Pitt movie.
Yeah, this is like the TikTok shit of people who are younger than 26 being like, people are really sleeping on Justin Timberlake. And it's like,
Nobody's
this guy
saying
was
that.
really famous like a little bit ago. But it's like Brad Pitt. It's Brad Pitt.
He like almost exclusively has hits.
No, he doesn't.
Not
That's
anymore,
Not true.
Are you out of your mind?
He's
Ocean's
old.
11,
It's done.
Moneyball. Why can't I remember Brad Pitt? Thelma and Louise, young Brad Pitt. Oh, fucking fine as hell.
Because he was more famous.
Babel.
Yeah, he was like more in the zeitgeist when we were your age.
No, I think what it is the genre. I think he's not in a single. Name a romantic comedy that he's in.
He was in 2 rom-coms, Mr. and Mrs. Smith.
No, that's
Action-
also an action movie.
action rom-com. Meet Joe Black is a romance fantasy. You would find him
movie.
quite suave and charming in that. Oh, we didn't mention Fight Club. He's in
Fight Club is good. I liked Fight Club.
Yeah,
there you
of
go.
courst you did.
It was scary though. I watched it on a plane.
Have you ever
and
seen
yeah.
Seven? That's scary. That was a fucking great movie.
I'm just like, I feel like if I call women in Gen Z,
You
they're
called
gonna
him
back
the
me up
phone?
on this.
You're saying Gen Z doesn't like Brad Pitt?
Yeah. Well, I'm
Yeah.
just saying they're not gonna like. I'm gonna. Call
I'm not saying that. I mean,
Who are you gonna call?
I didn't
Who are
know
you
that I
gonna call?
rode so hard for him.
Who are you calling?
I'm calling my sister.
You're
It's
calling
7 in the
someone?
morning.
I have a question for you.
Okay.
Actually,
Zach has a question.
Jack has a question.
Hello, Rainie's sister, M Dog. Can you name a good Brad Pitt movie?
Oh, actually, yes, Bullet Train. I just saw it.
Oh, that was not a
Okay.
good movie.
That's enough.
Do you think? Do you
But I
think?
love-
no, Rainie called an expert.
I
do you
love
think
that.
Brad Pitt?
Can we actually just pause and talk about how she talks exactly like Rainie?
Yeah, you guys sound exactly the same. Rainie says that Gen Z doesn't think that Brad Pitt has any good movies. Care to comment?
I can't name another Brad Pitt movie.
All right, thank you
Yes.
so much, M Dog. We
Thank you,
appreciate your
man.
I
time.
liked him in the Harry Styles movie.
Which
That
one?
was bad.
That was Chris Pine.
That was Chris Pine. Oh yeah, it was
It was
Chris Pine.
certainly not Brad Pitt.
Yeah, you're right.
But they do have a similar look.
They have a-
I gotta
especially
say,
right now, I feel like they have a similar look.
Yeah.
The long blonde hair look is
Is there
really.
a gas leak?
I'm the only person who had a donut, and I feel like that's fucked up.
Yeah, so when we record early,
you
Miles
guys
brings donuts.
No, I don't eat until 11.
Yeah.
Well, the thing is, if I eat one now, next episode, my stomach is going to hurt. So I'm going to eat one in the second episode, so my stomach hurts when we're not recording.
Yeah, I get that.
You guys know I can't eat donuts.
You can.
Yeah.
But I feel like sometimes I bring donuts and you love them. Or do you
First
just
of all,
love the idea?
I've never loved them.
I love them. I always love them. It's me.
I've taken. No, it's such a sweet gesture.
This is
Oh my God.
so fucked up.
It's a really sweet gesture, and I
I paid for them with company money.
good. I hope you did.
Well, because before I had a company card, sometimes I'd be like, let me get a little donut treat for the friends, and then we'd bring them to the house at the old office in the little house.
People would go nuts for it.
People go nuts for it.
Yeah, I mean it's
Donuts for it.
Yeah, do the sound thing.
I don't have any queued up,
Come on.
and I can't cue them up halfway through the show. But
Give it to me, Tucci.
give it to me, Tucci.
Is that what it sounds like now on the board?
It
Jesus
did.
Christ.
It was a Tucci soundboard for a little bit. Anyway, Zach, you had a bachelor party and you've been gone for 11 weeks.
Hit the sound effect.
Hit me, Tucci. Gimme, Pimucci. Gimme.
Your boy had a bachelor party. We have a video that's out on the channel. It's really cool. But we want to tell you a little bit about the stuff that was a little too hot for YouTube.
Yeah.
What was
That's
too
right.
hot for YouTube?
A little too hot for YouTube.
Yeah. I think we kind of did already at one point.
Yeah, I think it's on the Patreon.
I think it was a Patreon cut. What was too hot for Spotify, Zach?
Well,
I don't think that made the video, did it?
You know what? That's really upsetting that it didn't. Eugene, for whatever reason, throughout the entire weekend, had this thing where whenever there was a quiet, he would wave to someone in the distance and go, yoo-hoo.
That's
Well, he
very
first
cute.
did it to the magician performing to us. He just yoo-hooed at the magician, which really set us off because we were all very high. And we were very high for almost the entire weekend. But at that point, we were specifically probably at one of the highest peaks. And he just looked at the magician came over and he went, yoo-hoo! And then started cry laughing and continuing to say yoo-hoo. And then that obviously established a pattern of him saying yoo-hoo for the next 2 days.
But what was really cool about this, when we tried to make it, this video was really hard to edit. Our editor, Elliot, did a great job. But there was this whole plot line that got cut from it. And there was a entire riddle mystery that I had to solve around the weekend. So the theme of the video, if you haven't seen yet, is that basically I'm abducted by aliens into this bachelor party weekend, and they have all these tasks for me. But about a week and a half before the bachelor party, I receive a cryptic envelope. And the envelope basically they turned my life into an escape room. So the envelope had these numbers and like certain ones were red and I had to like decode it and I am losing my mind.
Is this in the video? No, this is not in the video.
It didn't make it.
Didn't make the
because
video.
Basically what happened was we edited it together and it just made the video take too long to start. And then it also, it made the ending of every scene a little too bloated. Yeah, a lot of our editing style is you have, a scene, you end on a joke that breaks the rhythm. So, you have like da-da-da-da-da-da, we're living in this like really fun established rhythm for a sequence. You end on a joke that breaks that rhythm, right? And now you're living in a joke, you're living in a moment, and then you slam in music and now you're in the next scene. So to add a sequence where, does that description make sense, by the way, of how our
that's
videos work?
interesting.
That's how I think about it all the time. It's very musical.
It's like Mozart.
It's like Mozart. What we're
It's like
doing here is
Mozart.
really important work.
Do you
Mozart
think
was
all
young.
other YouTubers have that same rhythm, or do they do it differently?
They all
Okay.
have their own rhythm, but that's how I think about our videos.
Yeah.
And that's like the easiest way for me to diagnose something that's wrong in an edit is if it doesn't have that like strong musical quality. So when I used to edit, and I still do this, is I actually lay down tracks first. I edit the sound and the composition of a video, and then I let that in my head musically inform what the next sequence is.
Wait,
Whoa,
are you
that's
putting
cool.
in a musical track and then editing over the music and then taking the music out? Are you putting in a music bed and editing to the music bed?
Correct.
Got it.
That's what I do. And that's also how I write. So I will write and I'll think about what the song is. And it's all about creating contrast
Whoa.
in
That's
between
cool.
sequences. So when I am writing, I go, okay, I've just been in a like a slow plucky moment. What's next? I want a transition that boom hits me with now like a fun upbeat song.
Yeah.
And whether or not there's songs written into the script or written into the what, like that's I'm my brain only kind of can think in terms of music, even though, as Keith can attest to, I'm not an explicitly musical person. But that's I write to music, I think to music, so that's how I.
So the song is critical. Which song you choose for like if you're writing a script?
Yeah, or in the case of like editing, when we're editing, I mean, a lot of our editors, they'll edit and then find music after the fact. That's how editing traditionally does work, especially if you're going to score something, which we don't have the chance to do most of the time. But I find that it's helpful to, like, okay, for the bachelor party, we filmed, like this sound bath, and it was an hour of footage. But I feel like if you were to, and that actually threw us when we were editing it first, Elliot was like, I have all this great footage. And I'm like, well, no, if you think about it musically, then you realize that this sequence only wants to be this short amount of time, because if you stay in this one musical tone, you're going to get fucking bored. So that's a little bit inside the actor's studio.
I kind of do in between. I'll lay down a rough cut, put in music, and then I'll start shaping it around the music. But still, the music is sort of deciding the pacing of the scene. And then I love the classic just drop out the music for a joke. It gives you a free,
it's so good,
free extra laugh, and also it gives you a free thing that breaks the rhythm and makes it very easy to start a new sequence.
Yep.
Yeah.
Well, and that's why if you watch our videos, you'll notice we'll have like 36 songs in a 10-minute video.
It's a lot, yeah. But it helps break up the rhythm. I feel like that's...
And you're creating different rhythms and pacings throughout the video.
Yeah.
What's an example of a video that you edited, Keith edited, and Eugene edited that's like one of the old ones?
Oh, sure. I mean, well, I will say that I got to recently re-edit the robot video. I only had about 8 hours in the edit bay, which may sound like a lot, but isn't. It wasn't going to get done in time, so I came in on the weekend and I re-edited that, and that was really fun.
That's right.
It was kind of like getting on a bike again. I don't think it's my best work, but it was
undercover boss in the edit bay.
Fun to do it. I mean, the ones that I say I'm most proud of are the Robot Babies video really early on, the Raising Toddlers for a Day. I like those. I mean, Robot Babies, both of those is because it was such an incredible amount of footage. Yeah. Robot Babies I love because we got to turn it into Paranormal Activity, and I edited like 1.5 terabytes of footage in 3 days. And it was one where like there was no time to actually edit a video, so you just had to like put down tracks and find the clips that matched the story, as opposed to looking at all the footage you have and going, what is this? No, you write it. I mean, editing is writing, right? So you write a story and then find the moments that apply to it.
That was a BuzzFeed video, yeah?
Yeah. We're talking, she said old.
And those are way shorter, yes?
Yeah,
they're
they used
like,
to be short.
Which is
3 to 8 minutes at most.
That's
typically.
crazy, too, to consider.
Oh my gosh, we used to make 2-minute videos.
Yeah, it's wild.
The first few, we shot, the same amount we would shoot in a studio video and made a 2-minute video out of it.
Yeah.
Examples of what you edited. I mean, you edited the first Without a Recipe when it was baking bread and really figured out what that style was. I mean, Keith is like, you are the best at like editing fast.
I'm a utility editor.
Yeah.
I often prefer to make a really good rough cut very quickly and give it to someone else.
Yeah.
You like make this look good. I've already done a lot of the finding of what's good and assembling of generally stuff of like stuff's not quite where it should be, but it's really close. And we even got into a pattern where I would constantly I would do the first leg of an edit and just give it to one of the other guys to finish.
Yeah.
And then Eugene is like, in writing and in editing, he is only a final draft guy. So he will work on the first minute until it's perfect.
Oh my gosh.
And then work like
anxiety.
There's only ever one cut.
Yeah.
He never. So like I like iterative cuts. I'm probably in between the two. I think iterative cuts are really important. And like with writing, you write a bad version and then you look at it and you make it better and better. But that's just like he only is capable of delivering something that is perfect.
It's so funny.
And then we used to work with someone who didn't edit at all.
Boo! Sounds like a personal problem. I will say, in terms of, I don't know if you guys taught me this or if I learned this at BuzzFeed or maybe I just am a genius. But my editing style was always like, I would get it to a point, I feel like we talk about this all the time, where it's like, we could spend 5 more hours. I also feel this way about shooting stuff, where it's like we could spend 5 more hours making this 5% better, and it won't be worth it.
Sure.
Yeah,
Like,
no, for sure.
like,
Especially on the internet.
Especially on the internet, where it's like, oh, this is like in the 95% range of how good it's going to be. Let's move on. Let's.
I mean,
you know,
Eat the Menu is king of good enough.
Yeah, exactly. Right.
Right. Like it is probably too long, but it kind of serves an audience in its length. And it has this relaxed nature about it. But if you look at even the first Eat the Menus, they're much shorter. They're like, they're edited maybe, I wouldn't say better, they're edited different, but they're meant to be like a more fast-paced experience, so like 20 minutes long, get through the Taco Bell.
You probably had the fear of like not wanting to lose people's attention, and then you realized it was serving a different function in the viewer's life.
People just kept saying, I wish it was longer. I was like, okay, crazy, all right. Now we're making them without editing at all.
I know, and they're doing decent.
And they're doing pretty good.
Yeah.
I'll say, I mean, I did eat with Keith yesterday, and I was like, you were like, all right, Zach, thanks for coming by. I'm like, let's hang out for 20 minutes, bro. I'm vibing. I'm ready to. I think let's guess and just let me chill.
Yeah, maybe.
I was having a great old time.
Recently, Becky and I had another one of our fun dates. We went to see a musical down in Hollywood, and not a movie musical, but a musical. We went and saw Annie, and it was awesome. It was really inspiring. I love seeing really good shows, but there's something special about seeing shows with like talented young people. It's really electrifying because I am working on a musical myself. It really sparked my imagination, got me thinking of like, oh, these are some cool things I could do in my show. It was just awesome. I've been thinking about it ever since. It was an adorable show. I loved the show, and it was wonderful to see it so well done. And something else that gives me an electrifying feeling, it's when I drive a Nissan EV like the Aria and Leaf. Nissan makes EVs that electrify, and they're not just any EVs. You don't want to get an EV just for the E. You get it because it makes you feel electric. The driving experience, it's different than the rest. You should get an EV because it sparks your imagination, it pins you to your seat, or it takes your breath away. Cool facts, one of Nissan's EVs has trekked the North Pole. Knock, knock, Santa. How you doing? Nissan, EVs that electrify.
Okay, you're about to be traveling, aren't you? You know I am. Gotta travel, see the fam for the holidays, and I'm gonna be trapped up in the air without any of my internet capabilities. You know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna play Best Fiends. That's right, it's the best puzzle game there is. It is wonderful. You can turn all your holiday travel or waiting time into a fun puzzle adventure with Best Fiends. Whether you're slugging slugs in the face with your bugs as you clear columns and rows of things. There's infinite little promotions always going on. You can always get free little power-ups by doing some little roll of die real quick. Hey, look, I'm on a board game now, and I just got some free power-ups. I'm on level 315. That's right, 315. And let me tell you, about every 10th one really stumps me. It takes me a few tries, but I kind of love it. Best Fiends is a free-to-download mobile puzzle game with thousands of exciting levels for new adventures and challenges every time you play. Wherever you go this holiday season, bring a little Wonderland with ya. Go to the App Store or Google Play to download Best Fiends for free. Plus, earn even more with $5 worth of free in-game rewards when you reach level 5. That's friends without the R, Best Fiends.
But the question...
I will say that Rachel brought up that people thought that ever since Quasi came on, everyone was high. Rewatching it last night, you and Quasi both look incredibly high. You seem unbelievably stoned in your appearance on the show. I wasn't. Yeah. I know, but like, I don't. You just came in. You're like, okay, what's going on here? Hey, look at that. Hey, I'm looking at this camera now. You were just like, and then you even talked about how sometimes you were high, but no one would ever know when you were really high. You seemed incredibly high.
Crazy brought unbelievable vibes into the studio.
Oh my gosh.
He was doing like call and response with me and Jack.
Yes.
Like being he asked, everybody feeling all right? And me and Jack were like, yeah.
He asked you what was going on like 3 times.
No, he was like, what's going
on, buddy?
Yesterday was chaos because of Eat with Keith, we had so many people in the office. We finished filming Guilty Pleasures.
Oh, God.
So Garrick and Kelsey are just hanging out.
Just laying around our office. Like literally laying.
Poor Kelsey, because we do back-to-back episodes, and she has trigeminal neuralgia, so it hurts her Jaw to talk like after a little bit. So she's like, I'm just gonna go lay down. I'm like, you got it. And then Quasi comes in, and so I'm trying to do work in our office, and the three of them are just vibing and laughing. And then Lou Burger's here, and then B-Well's here. He's making cocktails. Alex has a pie, and I'm like, I'm not getting anything done.
Yeah, it's sort of a little circus, but it's great.
It's fun when
It's a very funny energy.
I met Quasi's wife at the Halloween party.
A delight.
Oh,
She's awesome.
My gosh. I was transformed by her. She was actually like she's like a goddess.
Yeah, she's a wonderful. They're
her
both
energy is crazy palpable.
such a great couple.
They've got great
Iconic.
energy.
Going back to the editing though, I have two questions back to back. Did anybody teach you how to edit?
No.
No.
For both, I mean, you learn the most by doing. I think I've talked about this, but I started editing on Lego Studios, which then taught me how to. I was like, oh, I can figure out iMovie, and then I was like, oh, I can figure out Premiere. Oh, I can figure out Final Cut in between, then Premiere. And so you just learn by doing. Sometimes, like if there's something you don't know how to do, a friend will come over and be like, here's this trick, here's this shortcut.
Yeah, we share tips, but I just learned from the internet. I watched a lot of YouTube tutorials, and I learned things that I didn't know. Anytime I ran into an issue I couldn't do, I'd just Google it and found it. Yeah. And then I also used Linda.
Oh, yeah.
What's Linda?
She's just a really nice gal.
Yeah,
she's just editing.
LYNDA is like the biggest database of online tutorials for softwares, and
cool.
most of them are creative softwares, but they actually have like you can learn CAD on there if you want to do.
What's CAD?
It's like an engineering design, like
cool.
structural design. It's
That's
basically
cool.
3D modeling and stuff. It's like how you design a bridge before you make it. Like how can you design a bridge? It's a 3-dimensional object, so you use. Can't remember what it actually stands for. And there's other ones too. And maybe CAD is. I'm not super speaking in my field, but I'm pretty sure CAD is one of the ones for that.
Yeah. Miles, did anybody teach you?
No. I mean, I went to school for like media production, but the editing classes were super, super, super rudimentary. And I often felt like actually what they were teaching was dumb. And then I would like watch sketches and be like, oh, that's awesome. And like, I don't know, like I feel like the things that I actually learned were mostly online or from, making a million bad sketches and over time, like learning stuff.
Making bad stuff.
But I make a lot of bad stuff.
Yeah.
But I think that when you learn that way, people can red pill you with like tips that change everything. Like for a long time, I was just self-taught editing. I was like, clicking the blade and then slicing it and like hitting like it was like so inefficient. And then I feel like when I went to BuzzFeed, they were like,
Applique, baby.
Applique, or just like, use Q and W to like edit previous and after the playhead. And I was like, holy fuck, that saves me like hours.
The only thing that I've learned in a traditional sense that stuck with me is there's that book, In the Blink of an Eye by Walter Murch, which he's like one of the great editors. And the only thing I remember is the titular tip, which is like you don't edit on a blink. You edit, I think it's right. Actually, I don't even remember what the tip is, but I think you edit right before.
Sounds like it really impacted you.
You either edit right before a blink or right after a blink, but there's something about like the proximity to a blink that will be jarring. So that's like how he knows how long to make a clip. And that's just one like where once you see it, you're like, oh, this feels wrong. Like you can't, you know what it is you can't have someone blink and then cut right after it. Like you as a viewer are gonna go like, oh, that's wrong.
Yeah.
Really, editing also taught me so much about performing and also shooting because that like you don't realize how much stillness you actually want, because if somebody moves even their arm just as a gesture or like looks away right before you cut, it now changes the intention of that cut. So like you learn the reason that you hold at the end of a scene is not because and you don't drop it. It's not just because like you're still in the moment. It's rather to give the editor time to decide the ending of this scene with music and all the other components going on. So it was like when I finished delivering my line, I was like, and that's how I did it.
Yeah. Cut.
Yeah, and often our edits it's how long do I have? Like if someone says a really stupid joke, and that is meant, I mean, going back to the rhythm change thing, that's meant to be a rhythm change, I will hold that silence as long as the clip gives me. And the answer often is like, why did you cut here? It's because I had to. Yeah. That's
where it was. That's as long as we were given.
One of my favorite stories, it's from Akira Kurosawa, and I forget what director asked him, but he was obsessed with this shot in, say, Seven Samurai. I don't fucking know what movie it was. It wasn't Seven Samurai, but he's like, this shot's so interesting. Why did you shoot the army coming towards you this way? And Akira Kurosawa was like, because if I had the camera an inch to the left, there was a power plant. And if I had an inch to the right, there was a highway.
Yeah.
And it's like, that's, necessity actually creates a lot of what we do.
Yeah.
And so you're just trying to work within the bounds of what doesn't break the illusion.
So much so, and even knowing that, is I'll leave notes being like, this is a weird cut. Maybe readjust, unless there's a good reason for it. In which case,
yeah, right.
Because I don't know what the footage looks like. This is a weird cut to me, but maybe this is the best option.
Yeah.
It's just
and
they probably already know. They're like, I know it was a weird cut, but there's nowhere else to do with it.
And if
but
you're like,
sometimes you can fix that with scoring.
If you're like a little kid editor, and you're like, man, should I learn this stuff? I think that there are a lot of people who their careers are made by their ability to edit. Because it is easier to make something that's not necessarily that funny, really funny in the edit. And vice versa. Like, you can make somebody that's really funny not that funny if you're not that good in the edit. But I think that
something that's driven me crazy throughout the entire history of the Try Guys is the underappreciation for editors and our editors. And I'm thrilled that like the audience now with like the animated animals are like, oh my God, the editing's so great. Actually, no, like you're only commenting on it because now you notice it.
You're also you're actually commenting on the graphic work. Which is part of editing, but it's actually
a different skill.
It's graphics.
But I'm gonna let I'm happy to cheerlead because it is a moment like they deserve their kudos, but they deserve for so many other things. But I think that when we've worked with like traditional outlets as well, they think that buying the Try Guys means, or what the Try Guys is me and Keith and Eugene on camera together, and it's like, that's not really it. It's the way that we edit. That is what makes our content interesting. Except for Keith. Keith, can do a live stream, and it is wonderful, and that does feel like the Try Guys. But for the majority of like what we do and what makes it fun to watch, the style of what we do, the comedy of what we do is all made in the edit.
Yeah.
I'll even say, even in the live stream, I mean, you're doing like live sound things,
Sure.
and live graphic work. So like there are extra jokes going on. There's audio jokes happening. There's visual jokes happening. And the funniest part about those is I'm completely unaware of them.
You can't hear any of the sounds.
So all the audio jokes, I have no idea what's going on. I miss half of the visual jokes because I'm not looking at the monitor screen because it's not really in a great
also
place.
Distracting.
It's distracting. But sometimes I like it because it gives me context of just which camera to look at.
Yeah.
We'll have to get those red lights at some point.
I'm enjoying this Inside the Actors Studio vibe, and I want to continue it, but we did start this so that I could tell you what was cut out of the Bachelor Party video. Should we go back?
Get in there, Zach. Give it to us good.
What was
Give it
cut?
to me, Tucci.
Other than...
Well, so we started talking about this whole...
Oh, the riddle.
The riddle.
The riddle.
The riddle. So a week leading up to the Bachelor Party, I received this envelope, and it's this cryptic... Right, and okay, this is where we started. And the reason that we cut it out, as we've now established, is because to have me try and like look at an envelope and be like, what does this mean? It just got in the way of the rhythm of the episode, and we couldn't crack it, and we ran out of time. So we said,
"Oh, that's right.
That's where
what we were
we
talking
were.
about." Yeah.
Remember, audience.
It was
what we
it
were
was one of
talking
those
about.
things. It was really fun in real life.
Yep.
It didn't translate into what the video was. And also, we were shooting a bachelor party video, but we were also having a bachelor party.
Sure.
So the part of the reason that it's like, there's an hour and a half of footage of a sound bath. Like, well, because we were just doing a sound bath. We were like, that was an activity as the bachelor party. We just wanted to like do something relaxing and fun. And I worked with Nick to like come up with a creative for what we would do for Zach's party. And I was like, we should make it like a movie. My initial idea was just that we would make a trailer out of moments that happened in the bachelor party as like a movie trailer, but then it kind of made the whole thing ended up having this like cinematic sort of storyline.
And major shout out to both you, but also Nick, our producer,
Nick
who
really did all
planned
the heavy lifting.
Fuck out of it. And I don't know how he tapped into things that he knew I loved, and also things that I don't know how he knew that I loved. Like I grew up. I mean, I say this in the video. Like I grew up loving aliens and like checking out books from the library on aliens, being obsessed with aliens. No one knows that. I don't talk about that. There were like foods that he served me where I'm like, I've never said out loud how much I love this. Like, I love duck. I love scallop. We got like scallops, like is like the one thing that I never get to eat because Maggie doesn't like scallops. And so like we share our meals all the time. And so like there were just like all of these things throughout the weekend where I'm like, how did he know? what's happening? It was really kind of uncanny and bizarre. But so I get this envelope and it has numbers, and I thought it was like numbers related to different letters in the alphabet, and I'm like then adding them up and dividing them and trying all of these things. Turned out it was just dates. It was like the most obvious. It was like 10, 22, 23, 24, 25. I'm like, it was just the dates of my bachelor party. I'm like, oh yeah, fuck me.
You thought it was the lost numbers. And it was,
Dude, I really tried.
4, 8, 15, 16, 23, 42, man.
I've thought about getting that tattooed.
You had those memorized?
Oh, I loved it so
obviously.
much.
I would
write
say
in my
there
journal.
are hundreds of thousands of people with that sequence memorized.
Yeah, I
4,
loved
8,
it.
15, 16, 23,
42.
42. Add them all up together. What does it equal? 108. The number of minutes that Desmond had before he had to type it in again, baby.
That's right. Damn right.
Fucking Stan. So what were the other clues I got? I got an M&M, like a packet of M&Ms, and then the clue was you only need one. Then the second one was the book Carrie, and it was like something about, I forget what the hint was.
Pig's blood.
And then
You have to drink pig's blood.
Yeah, he had to drink pig's blood to get the next clue.
It was Stephen King's Carrie. But also, like, I didn't know what these were going for. So, like, I was like, M&Ms. They're made by the Mars factory. These are alien clues. Okay, I'm going to Mars. And then it was like, Carrie. Okay, Stephen King. It's like a telekinesis type thing. Maybe that. And actually what it was is they were just spelling out Mary. So, M&M, you only need one M.
Yeah.
Carrie, it was like...
Oh, you don't need the C. So it was like Carrie Mary or something like that. Or like you don't...
No, it was take out the ice.
Take out the ice.
It's
I
better.
see.
It's like it's better without ice. And so if you take out the ICE of Carrie, you're left with ARR. And then it was at the end of the clues, just ask why. So okay,
Mary.
I start with Mary, but then throughout the bachelor party, at the end of every activity, someone would give me a gift, and the gifts were first I got a map, and it was a map of Palm Desert, and I'm like, okay, I'm gonna figure out where we have to go. But like then I just hold on to it. It didn't like unlock the next thing. I thought it was like you have to solve this to go to the next whatever. And by the way, I'm deliriously stoned the whole video.
Oh,
You
yeah.
want to talk about a video where I'm high on camera the whole time?
That's it.
Bachelor
We
party.
were all at least a little high the whole time.
But this was not like I was instructed to be.
Yeah. We would get a text and Nick would say like, hey, I think it'd be good if Zach was a little high for the next one. I was like, all right. And it's like, all right, guys, we got to get high.
Whatever you say, boss. So then there was that. Then I got a Granny Smith apple, and I'm like, what the fuck is this about? Then I don't know. I kept getting these things that meant nothing to me, and only at it was at the observatory when the camera stopped rolling, I cracked it, but I pretended to not get it, and they spelled out MAGGIE. So it was a map, an apple, gold coins, green crayons.
Yeah.
I forget what the other two were. And then at the end, we had a sequence where I usual suspects, put all the clues together and I figured it out. And I go, Mary, Maggie, alien, that was the message you were trying to teach me all along. And then the alien comes in and we hug and dance. So it was a cute old plot line, but it was too much.
It was great. The observatory was really funny because we were very high and a few of us were kind of drunk because we went to this thing before where there was it was this really visual, cool meal. But what you really don't get from the video is that they gave us a new cocktail for every course. And
that's
so
awesome.
we were just drunk and high and at the observatory at 11 p.m. And these poor observatory, these wonderful scientists are just tolerating us. I was like, what's your favorite part about space?
That rules, though.
We had a lot of existential dread that also got cut out of the video. There was a much longer cut of the observatory because it was all funny to me. But we were looking at stars that were however millions of billions of
That's
light years
scary.
away. And there was one where you looked at it and it was a void of space. It looked like space because space is dark, right?
Yeah.
And then you're looking at one and it was
Sure.
darker.
I guess, yeah.
It looked like a smudge, and it was
Yeah.
this egg. I mean, imagine being Liddy and looking millions of light years away
At a smudge.
at a smudge, and it's the negative space. It's not a black hole, but it was
Negative energy.
I don't remember because again I was so litty itty, but it was
was it a nebula? that we were looking at? I don't remember. It was a smudge. And again, we were very high and drunk and cheering every time the giant telescope spun.
Well, that's like, I don't know. Sometimes space facts make you think about them too hard and they make my bussy hurt. It's like, I'm like,
Sure.
your bussy, like I feel like I'm lifting off. It's too scary.
Your bussy quivers with existential
Well, it's
fright.
just to imagine something so far away.
She called all of them. She measured them and how early they were before Jesus.
Yeah, it was really
That's weird.
Also really funny because it's just like, everything that we've created as humans to try and interpret this world.
Yeah.
We're dumb and like we just can't even fathom how big the universe is because we put everything in relation to this guy that lived 2,000 years ago. Yeah, try 2 billion light years away. You know, like we're just it's so beyond our comprehension that all you can do is go, oh wow.
Yeah, it was cool. And look at Saturn.
Looked at Saturn, saw the rings.
It was sick. Listeners, we're on a little routine break brought to you by Nissan right now. Zach and I are in Griffith Park.
It feels good. We're podcasting in a park.
It is fun.
I like this.
I feel like we're up to something.
This is a good segment, Nissan. You guys are smart.
Nissan EVs, they've inspired us to go out for a quiet yet electrifying recharge. It's nice to disrupt your routine. Also, it's great to reconnect with nature, and it really does invigorate you, and it makes me excited for the rest of the day. We're going to describe our surroundings a little bit just so we can paint a little picture for you. We're under this big old tree. It's still losing leaves because we're in Los Angeles, and even though it's early December,
You don't think of the leaves changing in LA, but this one says, "Nuh-uh, I'm changing."
They do. They just do it a couple months late. And I'm sitting on a concrete bench, and my butt is freezing. My butt is freezing off. It is a cold bench.
I'm standing and pacing. I had a little bit too much tea, and I can't really sit still, so I'm not even going to pretend to. Miles, can you hear the birds chirping?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, there's birds chirping and chirping. There's kids far in the distance playing on a playground.
Keith, would you say your butt is frozen? Almost electrified?
Oh, my butt is frozen, almost electrified, just like, Nissan's EVs, but they aren't just electric. They electrify you.
Keith, if I can interrupt real quick, there are 2 corgis walking by.
Oh, my
and
gosh.
They are so funny.
There are 2 corgis walking by, trotting behind that lady. It is so peaceful out here, and also, so beautifully quiet.
Too quiet.
Well, I don't think it's too quiet.
Are we thinking the same thing?
I think this quietness is powerful.
It
This
reminds
peace is
me-
powerful, yeah?
Kind of the new Nissan EV.
Yeah. The power and peacefulness that comes with sitting in this beautiful park. It inspires my imagination. I'm seeing bicyclists.
Imagine you
seeing
could
golfers.
drive a park.
Oh. Oh. Everyone loves going to the park. I'm literally looking at families laughing, and while their toddler runs across in a pink parka.
Look at that bird. Look at that bird's red freaking head.
Where?
Look at it.
I don't
Right
see
on
it.
that tree. No, on the tree.
Oh.
And there's a blue jay. And
Blue
there's
jay.
a red-headed booby.
Ooh.
I don't know if that's what the birds are. Its head is so vibrant. I didn't know LA had birds that look like that.
I know. Thanks, Nissan, for their partnership. I feel rejuvenated. I feel refreshed. I feel electrified from this experience. Nissan, EVs that electrify. Visit nissanusa.com to learn more. And also, she had this laser pointer.
Oh.
This laser, I'm telling you, Miles, you're acting like, it can't be that cool. Mm-mm. It was one of the coolest parts.
Every time she shined it, she had to look around and make sure an airplane wasn't coming. Because if you shine it near an airplane, it's like
They kill you.
$50,000 fine or
crime.
something.
Yeah.
No, it
is really dangerous.
pierces the sky.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was unbelievable. And we were like, wow, is this something you get from like a science academy? Like, how do you guys no, these are on Amazon. I'm like, they are?
Yeah.
You can just buy super lasers? That's dangerous.
There's a video of a helicopter, or no, it's a helicopter in the air, and they can see that a kid with a laser pointer is on the ground, and they are able to find his address, and they have send people to, because it's really dangerous. You can fry the sensors and the stuff, and then
Crazy.
helicopter goes down.
Yikes.
Which we don't want.
Which we definitely don't want. Now, speaking of everything going down and laser accuracy, Rainie, it's time for Boots on the Ground.
Boots on the ground. Boo, 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 boots on the ground. Boots on the ground. Boots, 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 boots.
Okay. My boots on the ground is a question, but I have an answer.
Rainie is live on the scene with a question
And an answer.
She's gonna answer it.
Okay. No spoilies, but who do you think dies in White Lotus?
Okay, do not do this to me.
And I don't think this is fair to do to the listeners.
I'm on episode 3, Rainie.
Well,
I
You're on episode
cannot.
3.
So you guys know things that is going to affect your decision.
but you know the people.
Yeah, but
Okay, we'll move on.
You have a lot more context.
Is your answer an actual answer? Or this is your theory.
No, this is a theory that I saw on TikTok that I think is really strong.
you're going to
see,
spoil it
that's
for
not good.
people. Though.
It is in the first episode, though.
I know, but you're going to spoil it. For
Okay,
people.
I'm gonna do a different one.
I will say I was
Boots on the ground.
Boots on the ground.
boots. Yeah, I don't want to think about it too hard.
Because then I'll ruin it for myself.
Yeah, I kind of have just decided.
Yeah.
You know what's fun about White Lotus? So Mike White, the great Mike White, I mean, he's been working forever. He wrote Enlightened. He wrote School of Rock. He's Ned Schneebly. Did you know that? The creator of White Lotus wrote School of Rock, and it's Ned Schneebly.
Oh, that's so fun.
Then Schneebs.
But he was talking about selling White Lotus, and no one was interested in it.
Yeah.
And then he just added a dead body at the beginning, and people were like, "Oh yeah, here's all the money."
Yeah.
So it's just a little tip for you. Put a
I
dead
do
body.
think whenever
body
there's a
on.
dead body, I'm immediately interested.
100%.
Yeah,
Because it's
there's
like-
so many questions.
There's so many questions.
Who are they?
Yeah.
Why are they dead?
Yeah,
When
who
did they
killed them?
die?
But also, there are multiple bodies.
I know.
Which
Okay.
I'm super stoked on.
All right.
By the way, I saw Mike White in Rome over the summer.
Whoa.
Well, I was in Italy for a wedding, and we decided to go to Rome afterwards. We were walking in the streets of Rome, and Ned Schneebly himself walked right by us. And I was like, what the fuck is this guy doing in Rome? And he was obviously there, like, finishing shooting White Lotus.
Did you say, when in Rome?
I wish.
That would have been
It's a
good.
damn good show.
Boots on the ground, part
Boots on the
2,
ground,
Rainie.
Part 2, Bo Burnham broke up with his girlfriend.
Oh,
that's sad.
So you're trying to
I mean,
Trying to get
him on the Kissing Rainie podcast?
I don't know. Do you think I should? I feel like I probably shouldn't.
Bo.
Yeah.
Well, you've recently come into some hot water, your own hot water, where you
I'm nervous to hear what you're going to say.
we don't have to talk about you messaging Caucasian
Oh,
chicks.
You did
I
it?
feel like it's only fair because you brought it up so much.
And it's so much of a story on this show.
It's such a story on this
it is
show.
part of the show. It's part of
Do
the
you
narrative.
want to talk about it?
No, I can definitely talk about it.
Okay,
I'm willing
great.
to speak. I'm willing to speak on this.
Great. Okay.
So,
Tell us all about how it went.
boots on
Yeah,
the ground.
And did you ask him to kiss you?
No.
Okay.
Although I will say, people in this office were going hard. They were like, "You should invite him to the cold open. Invite him to the holiday party."
Oh my God.
And YB, who was just like, "Just say hi. Just say hi." Like she was getting nervous.
Let's see if he follows me yet. Please
Did you
continue.
follow him?
No. Please
Oh.
continue.
No.
But someone might have
He
told
doesn't
him.
follow me, so I don't.
So why would he possibly follow Zach? He doesn't follow me.
He doesn't follow Rainie. He's probably not following
Well,
back.
I feel like you checked him last time that I talked about this. So I thought you might have followed him, but I was like, okay, so
What did you DM him?
Okay, I went on the podcast, and then somebody DM'd me a screenshot of them DMing Caucasian James and being like,
I knew this would happen. This is why I was excited.
I know, of being like, hey, like you should listen to the TryPod. You're a big subject of discussion. And he responded and was like, do they say nice things? And she was like, yeah, the producer wants to make out with you, which I thought was a little much. I get it. I get it. And I
And
don't.
you didn't.
it's-
You said you wanted to kiss him.
Yeah.
Didn't we go over that? That you wanted specifically to give him a kiss?
Kiss and making out.
Oh, no, I
Different.
guess you did want to make out, didn't
I think
you?
I did technically did. I get it. I'm not mad at I'm not mad at that person, but I was sort of like,
A little
be
forward.
cool.
Narc.
Yeah, be cool.
Yeah, they're a little bit of a
Fucking
narc.
I mean,
be
we did
cool.
publicly say you wanted to make out with
Yeah.
him on a show.
So it is sort of fair. But anyway, so
There's something so funny about you talking such a big game and getting so worried about this.
Okay, let's keep going. What did he you messaged him? What did you say? What did he say?
so he watched it, right? So he knows. And then right after he started posting, first of all, a ton. And second of all, about like finding love. And I was like, is this about me? And my friend was like, no, it's not.
My friend was like, shut it down immediately.
Very suspicious
I know.
that he started
Yeah.
posting more after we talked about him, perhaps
Yeah.
trying to get the Apple.
What did he say to you? What did you say to him?
Okay, so actually Miles played a huge role in this.
I know, and then I forgot
distracting
about
from
it.
the question. Just get to
We're
it.
buttering them up. It's like White Lotus. We're
I'm
just
so-
gonna die.
I'm so buttered. Call me Paula Deen.
I'm way too much butter. You can't see the toast anymore.
Wet.
I'm mostly butter.
So then the day has come. I realized that there's no getting out of this because
I love this so much.
This is
This is
torture.
dramatic tension.
and so I come into work and Devin immediately was like, did you message him? Like, are you going to message him? Desiree has been sending me drafts like all night. And so finally, I'm like, you know what? If I can
The
get
full power of second try.
truly.
Finance, production.
This is why no one's meeting their deadlines.
Yeah, all the departments.
This is why we couldn't figure out the subplot of the bachelor party video because Elliot
Yeah.
was editing drafts of your message to Caucasian James.
I even asked Jonathan, and I'm like, Jonathan, do you think I should do it? He was like, if you're going to do it, you do it now because, you know, it's pitched over home plate,
Right?
which
While
I
the
really
iron
liked that.
is hot.
Yeah. And I was like, so then I'm like, you know what? If I can get Miles' approval, I'll do it.
That's so funny.
And did you get his
And-
approval?
Yeah, so I was like, do you think I should? And he was like,
What did you say?
I believe I said, yeah, who cares or something. It's like, yeah, go for it. I don't know.
and so then I was like, Miles, what should I say?
Yeah.
And
Oh my God,
oh,
Rainie,
this
you've
is a
got
big
to
part.
get.
This is a big part.
Is it?
This is it now.
I would say a lot of the things before
is it
have
now.
not been big parts.
And what was for lunch that day? No, go for it.
So then Miles was like, I would say, so he posted a video of him dancing.
Yeah.
And Miles was like, I would say, really good footwork. No, impressive footwork.
That's
so
right.
that's what I said. Impressive footwork. And then he didn't respond.
Now,
And then that's it.
he probably didn't see it.
Because I said this would happen. It would go into message requests.
Yeah.
Right.
That's why I think you need to spam message him.
No,
So it goes to the top.
it's enough. It's enough. But you know
Yeah.
what? Here's what I'll say to the listeners.
To the haters.
Once it's in the ether, the crush goes away, which is nice. It's a powerful tool.
You hear
Because ever
that,
since I
Caucasian?
DM'd him, I'm sort of like,
we are not into you anymore.
I mean, if he reached out,
No, Rainie.
You missed your chance.
He
footwork,
missed his
boy.
chance. Caucasian, if you're listening, you try and come up here.
Yeah.
Maybe Rainie will say you can come to the holiday party.
Maybe.
It's on Saturday.
It's tomorrow, so get at us.
Yeah.
But you're not getting a kiss anymore.
Walk away.
We're not
I think
interested.
that's a little strong.
Well, when we put this on TikTok,
Miles,
Caucasian,
good
if you're
idea.
listening, Rainie doesn't think you're attractive. In fact, she heard you're a bad kisser.
yeah,
She heard your breath smells like poo-poo.
nag him.
yeah, we're doing sort of
Your footwork was not impressive.
This is one of the greatest love stories of our time. And I think,
I hope he doesn't listen to this. By the way, listeners, don't send this to him.
yeah, they're going to send it to him.
Okay.
Someone just sent it to him and then heard you say that and went, oh no.
Because you've also been like, oh, somebody DM'd me about it after.
Yeah.
So they know that the way to access Rainie is by screenshotting Caucasian. You've really created an army.
Yeah.
The boots on the ground army.
I
Boots on
mean,
the ground
on,
are
on a
raindrops.
scale of 1 to 10, how embarrassing do you think this was for me?
I don't think it was embarrassing. I think it's kind of funny.
Okay, thank you. That
But I
makes me
don't.
feel
I
actually a
mean,
lot better.
embarrassing would surmise that something disastrous happened, which in
Yeah.
reality nothing happened.
And that's as
The opposite of
disastrous.
love is not hate.
That's something.
It's nothing.
It's indifference.
Oh,
Wow, that's true.
that's
Yeah.
true. But yeah, Caucasian James, you know.
Just a little temp check. How are you feel? You know, you were ahead of the curve on the Young Gravy crush.
Right.
How are we feeling about him now?
I truly, Young Gravy or Caucasian James? Because I actually do think Caucasian James is going to get, like, I think I'm calling it now, and he's going to be a thirst trap in a second.
yeah, you really have a good track record of like projecting the success of very mediocre white men.
Yeah.
So
Thank you so much.
I'm gonna continue to
I do
trust.
want, I've thought about making my, like, Hinge profile Kingmaker. That's pretty good,
That's kind
right?
of sick. Honestly,
Wow.
you should do like what's her name? What's her name? Poots.
Kingmaker.
Poots. What was the like? You should make your TikTok. What's her name? Poots. Tinks.
Tinks.
You should make a thing like Tinks where you're like, this is my projection for, you're like, hi, I'm Rainie Toll.
Oh,
I'm a kingmaker. I work at a large digital media company and I am known for projecting like the next kings of tomorrow. This king alert. And then you
King
do sort
alert,
of like
Caucasian
a,
James
yeah.
is a king alert.
Somebody who's already wildly
incumbent?
famous.
Is that what you call who's about to be the king? The incumbent? Or like when you're about to take a role?
The heir.
The air.
Yeah. The heir, the incumbent kings.
Heir to
Yeah.
the throne.
The heirs.
But Young Gravy, here's how I
The
feel.
heirs of 2023.
Did you watch him perform at the Streamies?
No.
It was the most unbelievably lazy shit I've
It
ever seen in
looked
my life.
lame as fuck. The whole Streamies is always lame as fuck, but that performance looked especially lame. And let me just tell you, the Streamies sucks, and I will happily
Did
sing
this
it
come from two guys who
forever.
hosted the fucking
I've been
thing?
there.
It's been downhill ever
You
since.
guys invited?
Yeah.
Yeah,
You didn't go?
I was at a wedding.
Oh, and you were...
I didn't want to go. We weren't nominated for anything.
I could have gone on
Wait.
our behalf. I could have been like,
They would have stuffed us in a back corner.
I'll gladly sit in
They
the back
stuffed
corner.
Good Mythical Morning in the back, and they won show of the
That's
year.
crazy. I guess they probably put like what, young hot
Yeah, they
TikTokers
put the
up
hot
front?
youngins on the floor. They put the old fogies in the corner. I'm not ready to be an old fogey publicly.
I get that.
I know I am. I'm on my house. I'm a king.
Because
That's what
Becky,
Rainie
like
said.
me,
Yeah,
Is a kingmaker.
Yeah, exactly.
Anyway, Young Gravy, I am. So I've had actually even more of a roller coaster with him. Because after he started dating Addison Rae's mom, I was like, I don't know.
Oh, Young
Well,
Graves.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was sort of like,
He's kind of all over the place.
I think it's outplayed. I think this is like a performance. But then I was listening to some of his songs and I was seeing some of his TikToks and I was like, you know what? I respect him.
Oh, Rainie. This is like a roller coaster.
One of my friends had.
People you respect, people you don't respect. Like you are throwing a dartboard into the ocean.
I want to tell you, one of my good friends had posted their Spotify Wrapped and had Young Gravy on it, and I just could not have less respect.
Rainie for sure has Young Gravy on it. Look at Rainie's face. Rainie has Young Gravy on Spotify Wrapped.
He's in like my top artists. Like, what are you talking about?
Rainey gets a pass because she was doing research for her
role.
her podcast.
She was doing research for a role.
Yeah.
How high was he?
Let me
Was he
check.
3?
I have
You were in the
most- I
top
have
5%
the
of
most
Young Gravy.
embarrassing.
Who was your number one on Spotify Wrapped?
Phoebe.
Phoebe Bridges.
Yeah. It was like almost
Oh, you
exclusively.
feeling emotional? Oh, Miles, are you in touch with your emotions? Oh, are you sad? Did you have a sad autumn?
I think it's Jesus. I think it's honestly the top played song was "Rivers and Roads" by Head and the Heart, and then Phoebe Bridgers. I just often am like, oh, I want to put on music. I'll put on Phoebe Bridgers shuffle artists like, and then it'll be like Phoebe Bridgers, Julian
Julia soundtrack.
Julian Baker, and Lucy Dacus.
Ooh.
Yeah, it's like
I liked Lucy Dacus. That
moody vibes.
her album's great.
Yeah.
So in
Albums.
my home, Becky normally is playing all the music, and I just don't often listen to music. I just don't. And
You listen to music on YouTube.
I listen
a
to
lot.
music on YouTube
Yeah.
if I'm listening to anything because I like watching music videos too, or like having a visual accompaniment. But anyway, I opened my Spotify, and you know what it said? You haven't listened to enough music
No way.
to make a Spotify.
Whoa.
Wrapped.
Wow.
That's so surprising. I feel like you're.
I just don't use Spotify for my
Oh,
music, and
sure.
and when most of the music in our house is Becky's Spotify.
Oh,
Yeah.
and
sure.
I'm like, this is I like this music too. This is fine,
Yeah.
and I'm just totally complacent.
That's really funny. Zach, you were saying you're top 0.1% of Drake listeners.
I hate you so much. I hate you so much. I felt like I was getting bullied on the internet to release my Spotify Wrapped, and I'm like, you know what? No. But I was pissed because you guys know that we love Yola. She is my fave, and I like genuinely. She's a friend, but like I am obsessed
She's
with
really talented.
her music. Like,
Yeah.
and I was gunning to be for her, like to be in the top % of her music. Of her listeners, and I was gonna be, but I fucked it up. So if you look at my top played songs, like 3 out of the 5 or maybe 4 out of the 5 are just songs from her album, but my top listen is Parcels, who I adore, and I was in the top 0.5%. One, because I love them, but specifically they have this album live in Berlin. It's this studio album, and I just listen to it on loop when I'm writing, when I'm on the plane. And so I had plane rides where for 5 hours straight, I'm just listening to this album on loop. It skewed my numbers. I feel like I need like a private listening mode on Spotify.
Yeah, or it should also like I often put on like smooth jazz Spotify playlist, and one of my top 5th song was like a song from that, and it's like that's not good.
Kelsey's was Ocean Sounds to Sleep To. It's like that's not my Spotify Wrapped.
That's stupid.
I just think Spotify Wrapped is so intimate, and people sharing it, I'm like, oh my gosh.
Well, I would love if you would share yours now. Because you think it's so intimate.
No,
You're so embarrassed. What happened? So it was Young Gravy was number one.
Wait, I'm curious, by the way, do you know and do you remember that when Spotify started, you could have it was like a social network.
Yeah,
and it linked
still
with
is.
your Facebook.
It still is, and there
And
are only
you could
2
see-
people that I can see what they listen to.
And it shows people like currently listening to, and I'm like,
Oh,
I don't
yeah.
need people to know that I'm listening.
No.
Yeah, I don't want that.
yeah, I know. My friend has looked me up and been like, you were listening to Hamilton. And I'm like, don't tell me that.
Don't tell me that.
That is so cringy.
Yeah.
How does a bastard orphan son of a gun in the Scotsman dropped in the middle of a forgotten spot
By
in
the
the
way,
Caribbean?
It's like an old man retelling the story.
That'd be pretty good.
Old man Hamilton.
Let me tell you something you probably already know. Money can't buy happiness, but not worrying about your money comes close. That's where Chime can help you smile more. They were just named the #1 most loved banking app. With payday up to 2 days early and fee-free overdrafts up to $200, they offer financial peace of mind in your wallet. All of this with no annual fees, large security deposits, or credit checks to apply. See for yourself why Chime is so loved at chime.com/tryguys. That's chime.com/tryguys. Chime is a financial technology company, not a bank. Banking services and debit card provided by the Bancorp Bank or Stride Bank N.A. Members FDIC. Early access to direct deposit funds depends on payers. SpotMe eligibility requirements and overdraft limits apply. See chime.com/spotme. Chime was the 2021 #1 most downloaded banking app in the U.S. according to Apptopia. It is holiday season. Everything's busy. Everyone's frenzied. And let me tell you, what you need is DoorDash. That's right, DoorDash. Because DoorDash has over 300,000 partners. You can support your neighborhood go-tos or choose from your favorite national restaurants like Popeyes, Chipotle, and Cheesecake Factory. And it's not just restaurants. You know this, but you can get drinks, snacks, and other household items in just under an hour. Uh-oh, spilled a bunch of punch on your floor? Don't have a mop? DoorDash can get you a mop. Plus, you're supporting your community from the stores and the restaurants to the Dashers driving around. Each purchase provides a new opportunity for everyone involved because with DoorDash, there's a neighborhood of good in every order. For a limited time, our listeners can get 50% off up to a $20 value and 0 delivery fees when you download the DoorDash app and enter code TryPod. That's 50% off up to a $20 value and $0 in delivery fees when you download the DoorDash app in the App Store and enter code TryPod. Don't forget, that's code TryPod for 50% off up to a $20 value and 0 delivery fees with DoorDash. Subject to change, terms apply.
I just want to say for the record that if you had Young Gravy on your Spotify Wrapped, I don't want to shame you. You can like what you like.
He makes
Just know
good music.
But let it be known he's a bad live performer at an award show that he probably didn't care about.
I think he's
but
just,
He should though, because he's not that famous.
Yeah, you should really be trying.
If you're
he's
performing
really
at the,
famous.
If you're performing at the Streamies and you're acting like you're over it, you're not going to be famous in 4 years.
Yeah. I just think like,
I think that that's any artist.
Take
Every
it from
time
me,
you
someone who
perform
hosted
live.
the Streamies 4 years ago.
But I think it's like if you're performing at like a relatively small award show and you're not putting effort into your performance, it's probably a sign that it's going to be tough in like 5 years.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe not. I think, he's got the
Who knows?
charisma.
I mean, I think he's probably the exception to the rule. Like, he is kind of like an instant Hall of Famer.
Yeah, he's got like what's it, the X Factor, I would say.
Yeah. Every
Right,
now
Rainie?
and then someone comes
yeah.
in with a song that is so brilliant.
Oops. But it's like, oops, it is.
You know,
Is that your number one?
he's the song where he
Wait,
says,
he has more than one
"Oopsie
song?
daisy."
It's worse, Miles.
Rainey, please share. I would really be. I want. I
We
want to
can't keep
so
it.
bad.
We've got to end
so-
this episode soon. It's got to be time for
Okay.
advice.
Oh, it's definitely time.
I was
Sorry.
like, well,
we got
it's
excited about
way too long.
Spotify
We got to
Wrapped.
record another one.
Yeah, we do.
It's time for advice that'll go for Miles with Miles Bonsignore.
It's advice that'll go for miles. Tune it to your radio station.
By the way, I don't believe that I've listened to this song more than I've listened to every other song, just so you know. But go ahead.
Miles Nation, go! It's advice that'll go for miles. Advice that'll go for miles.
What's up, Miles Nation? Hope everyone's having a really nice December.
Ooh, yes, December.
Rainie's energy is spiking, and I love it.
Did you sneak a donut somewhere in there?
I looked. She didn't have an extra donut. I was the only one.
Can we do a stummy check-in?
My
How's your
stomach is
stomach?
good.
You didn't have one, right? Or did
No,
you?
I haven't had one, but I will have one next
Yeah,
episode.
because your stomach.
Yeah, I'm going to have a coffee before the second episode. Have you ever wanted your life to put a finger that is in the dam? Like the little boy who saved the Dutch town?
You ever want your life to have put a finger in the dam?
Like the
Like the
little
little
boy
Dutch, right.
who
A
saved
fire
the Dutch
hydrant
town.
is something that floods. And my ass was a fire hydrant when I had food poisoning.
You had food poisoning? I had food poisoning.
I had food poisoning that I've talked about it at this point enough.
Ad nauseum.
But it was so bad, I thought I was going to have to go to the hospital. I didn't have to do that, but I did feel like I was going to die. It was bad.
You put Bombex on your bum bum?
I have a little solution that's going to get all you little flowy boys and girls out there parking it out of both ends. A hydration station that's good enough for the Miles Nation.
Shakespeare who?
Are you drinking water? Are you drinking water through your butthole now?
Pediadark, more like Pedialyte, because I'm sparking up a joint that is Pedialyte, and I'm huffing it deep so that my loins can get it absorbed before I vomit it back out again.
So you're telling people to drink electrolyte fluids when they're dehydrated?
I'm telling you that if you have diarrhea, Keith,
Yeah.
and vomit, Keith, then you're going to want Pedialyte, Keith.
Yeah.
But I would caution against some of the more flavorful Pedialytes because it is like, what the fuck's the point of this, guys? We don't
Yeah.
need a Pedialyte that's
Pomegranate Pedialyte?
No, yeah, that's not.
What's your flavor of choice?
I think Sarah got me like Hawaiian punch, and it was like, I really wish this was just lemon or something. But I did find it helpful. Anyway, be careful out there. Food poisoning is no joke. And I have often lived my life 10 miles at a time, where I'm sort of eating whatever I want all the time. Food on the floor, who gives a shit? Food from a dirty gas station, who gives a damn?
Right.
But and this was a frequent flyer restaurant that got me. I'm a frequent flyer at this place, and it was
Was it a chain
it was
or
a
a
taco stand
Oh no.
on the street.
Well, mine was
Yeah.
also a taco. I bit into a shrimp taco at a wedding welcome party, and it was so clearly spoiled.
No,
And
You didn't spit
in
it
the
out?
taste, the taste is spoiled?
like I was chewing it, and I'm like, something's. First, I actually the ceviche, and I ate a bite, and like the ceviche was like a battery acid bitter, and I was like,
that's just too much lemon.
too
and
much
lime.
lemon. So I'm like,
Yeah.
oh, that's just bad, but I don't think it's. So then I ate the shrimp, and I'm like, that tastes weird. And then I like swallowed. I'm like, you know what, guys? I don't think that's okay. And I started freaking out and telling me about it. And then I ate another bite of a different shrimp because I'm like, they couldn't poison us. And the other taco tasted okay. And I'm like, okay, maybe I was wrong. And I eat the other shrimp taco entirely. And then I go back to the first taco and I like spit it out because it was so bad. And I thought it was fine. And then the next day at the wedding, I started ripping the craziest toots that your boy has
Yeah,
ever.
you
And I
don't
full on, like, I thought at one point that I sharded. I didn't. But I was like, maybe.
Thank God.
I was like, maybe. And
Wait,
then
was the fart just so thick?
it just was like,
oh my God, Rainey.
it was a,
How do you think you sharded?
They're
and
called
you didn't?
lava farts.
it was a
They're
humid
hot.
temperature.
This
It-
episode's going to be called Zach's Chart.
Zach sharded.
Zach's
Zach's
shirt.
bachelor party shart story.
But it's like days later and my stummy is still like unsettled. And I think that I made the mistake of, I took my Pepto-Bismol, I had peppermint pills, I did the whole thing, and I'm like, I'm feeling good. So I came home and I ate sushi. And I think that my stomach wasn't ready for such
a daring food.
Daring food.
Yeah.
So I don't really know what to do. I feel like the microbiome of my stomach is still pretty fucked up.
I feel the same way about mine, and I have been having crazy gas, and I've been having gas pains. And I'm sort of wondering, how do you reset the biome that is your tummy?
Yeah, why don't you give advice for Miles?
Drop a comment, #advice for Miles, capital FOR. And I'm going to need you to tell me how to reset the biome. Is it yogurt? It's probably probiotics.
Probably
of some
not
kind.
for me.
It's probably water.
Can I scare you? My friend got a stomach, what is it?
Oh, the poop transplant?
No. This
That's
is
the
going to
thing.
scare you. He ate, he got food poisoning. There's a name, like Listeria or some shit.
Oh,
Something
bad one.
common. It wasn't
Listeria.
Listeria.
That's common.
But it wasn't that.
Okay.
Anyway.
E. coli?
And
It's common.
doing that triggered celiac disease.
Oh no.
Oh, no.
So you and I, it's going to be the end, Miles.
I don't have time to not be able to eat bread.
Yeah, well.
I'm so busy.
He was like, he had an iron stomach his entire life. And then one food poisoning thing threw him, and now he's a mess.
If that happens to me, I'm going to get a whole new body.
I literally, my
transplant.
cousin and my uncle have celiac, and I think I do, but I just can't. So I haven't gotten tested.
I think I do, but I can't.
Well, we got to move on.
Yeah, we got to move on.
Well, more about
Next time.
Rainie's potential celiac next week. Join us then. And
Yeah.
we won't have any discoveries because we're going to record it here in a few minutes. But, thanks for being here. Make sure if you're looking for some more content, head on over to our Patreon. There's a new series called Cozy Gamers coming
Hell
out
yeah,
over there.
dude.
Oh, yeah.
I'm
be
hoping
some-
they invite me to go game.
Me too.
I think I want them to invite me, and they said they're going to play that trombone game.
Yeah,
the
you
Guitar
should.
Hero trombone game. I want to play that so bad.
That's really fun.
It looks so funny.
Yeah, it looks really funny. I like all the videos for it. Someone made a custom Linkin Park version of the trombone game.
That rules. And also, we have got afterpods every single damn week. And sometimes it's us fucking shooting the shit. And sometimes it's Rainie live on the scene interviewing members of the staff.
That's
yeah.
awesome.
I want to update people, and then we will end, I promise, that we did make Try Moi happen. We teased it on this podcast, and we
Right,
did.
right.
Oh, yeah. I mean, more on that next week.
We have to talk about that.
Okay,
We have to-
great.
I want to know. Yeah, I'm excited.
Well, till next time, Keith. Bum, 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 bum. Hit us with the official TryPod theme song.
Ding dong, ding dong, ding dong, ding dong. The tripod is coming to your town. The tripod is making your frown turn upside down. The tripod is making you happy. The tripod is never too crappy as the tripod.
Have a good ass week, everybody. Woo!